Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mambo Odette. And someone posed this question to me on one of my videos here. And I felt the question was sincere. So let me explain something to you. Because if I take 10 minutes out of my life to explain something to you, I think it's sincere. I don't think you're trolling me or anything. You understand? Or being condescending or like something backhanded. The person asked me about Sodo, and I explained to them that I no longer go into Sodo. You can see videos on YouTube of people in Petroville and Port-au-Prince area, Dalma, something, and you'll think, oh, they're out shopping, they're living their everyday life. Haiti's not full of gangs. Haiti's not full of gangs. The media is just lying on Haiti. We all know what happened in Sodo a few months back last year, where the gangs went into Sodo and they attacked the police station, and several people lost their lives. And the gang member was driving around in the police station's car, the police officer's car, because Soto is so small. They only got one car, and like even all the police, they don't even like carry guns really. Like I think only the chief does or something. I don't know, but it's such a small town that these things are not really an issue. I think that's what my husband told me. Like only the chief carries it. Whatever. It's a small town, so it was easy for the gangs to go in and overtake the police station, and that's usually what the gangs do when they take an area that they haven't taken before. They will go in. They will, burn people's house down, chase people out. They really attack the police station because that's like the authority. They even went into the hospital in Maybelline. And, but they do this as a show of force when they first take an area. And then after that, the gangs are still there and the people are still in the street shopping and everything. But what you don't see is how the gangs go to the merchants and they have to pay them for protection. How the gangs are bothering the civilians, the everyday intimidation. The gang is still there. They just do that show of force when they take an area. But just because you see people out shopping and moving around and the gangs are still very much behind the scenes, intimidating people, taking bribes, doing whatever they want. And it's like when you pass that police station every day and you see, that the bullet holes or the fire that's been put on it. It's a trauma. And they do that. When you hear about these attacks, it's usually when they just take an area. But now you remember that one gang member who killed all those voodooisants somewhere near Germany in the capital area. I think it was 100 and some voodooisants because his son passed because he was sick. And I said, well, if the gangs didn't burn up all the hospitals and make all the medical people leave and burn up the hospitals, he could have just took him to a hospital. You understand? And then because of he can't control his emotions. All these people had to lose their life, like their life don't have value or something. Sometimes like that you can see a show of force. But I'm going to tell you this. Even in the capital, you let what do you call those people? The people who have come in like Kenya and Guatemala, those countries that they send there to fight the gangs. You let them leave and you will see if that area don't have gangs, if that area don't have problem. Every day they have to go out and stand in the street. They have to set up checkpoints. But the gangs are still there, intimidating, blackmailing, raping, robbing, and at one point, kidnapping was a everyday thing in that department. Kidnapping people who didn't even have money, broke people, poor people. One little girl got kidnapped, and they're doing that to sexually abuse women. It is a psychological thing. These gangs are nothing nice. And when you see that they've taken an area, even though that area appears normal or back to its people ain't got no damn choice but to go back to their regular thing. But those gangs are still very much there, terrorizing people. Believe that. So no, I have not been back to Sodo. Sodo has been taken by gangs, in my opinion. In my opinion. Let me tell you in quite a bouquet. They sit back and they watch that area. They know who's who got family overseas, who has what business. The senator even had to pay the gangs. I didn't know that at the time, but he had to pay them to protect the house. Protect the house from what? From you? At one time, they were stealing gas tankers. There was no gas in the pumps because they were taking the gas and had to buy gas on the street for $20, $30 a gallon, and it was coming. And it was the gangs that were taking it and reselling it. So it can appear normal. You can trust it if you want. You can trust it if you want. But Katsumawoso missed their only chance to get me. I'm Mambo Odette.